Good day, fight fans, and welcome back to Pressure Point.
We're all right now that I like you, but I've got to be real. When his legacy is destroyed in 6 weeks' time, it's gonna fall on your shoulders.
Conor McGregor was once unstoppable, the first UFC fighter to hold 2 titles, and the king of trash talk who turned cage fighting into a billion-dollar spectacle. But fame twisted into greed, and pride poisoned everything. From the welfare lines of Dublin to becoming the UFC's biggest pay-per-view star, his rise felt straight out of a Hollywood script, except no screenwriter would dare write a fall.
Dustin Poirier has produced the biggest win of his career by a mile.
Boy! Dustin Poirier beat up the legs!
This wild. Growing up in Crumlin, a tough working-class suburb where dreams were rare, young Conor found escape in boxing after getting bullied at just 12. By 16, he discovered MMA, training non-stop at Straight Blast Gym, while scraping by as a plumber's apprentice on welfare, living on noodles and rice, but seeing himself as a champ every night. In 2008, he stormed into Cage Warriors FC, a savage mix of precision strikes and mind games that broke opponents before the fight even started. And by 2012, at only 24, McGregor pulled off the unthinkable, winning both the featherweight and lightweight titles the same night. This wasn't just winning, it was a statement that shook the fight world straight to Dana White's doorstep. When White visited Dublin in 2013, locals shouted one name, Mystic Mac, the kid who called his knockouts to the round, sometimes even to the second. His UFC debut, that April, lasted just 67 seconds. Pure, ruthless chaos that earned him a $60,000 bonus and proved a superstar had arrived. But it wasn't only his fists doing the talking. McGregor had the charisma of a movie star and the swagger of someone who knew he could do the impossible. He'd say, "I'll knock him out in the second," then grin at the camera after making it happen. Like the joke was on everyone else, the rise was lightning fast. McGregor smoked Dustin Poirier at UFC 178, battled through Chad Mendes to grab the interim title, and then came the defining moment. December 2015, UFC 194, Jose Aldo, unbeaten for a decade, stepped in, and McGregor ended it in 13 seconds. 13 seconds. That's all it took. Aldo was out cold, and McGregor stood as the new champion. The fastest title win in UFC history, a record still untouched. The fight pulled 1.2 million pay-per-view buys, marking the start of McGregor's total takeover of fight business. He didn't just fight, he sold fights like no one ever had. Press conferences became full-on shows. His suit screamed confidence, and his trash talk was pure theater, savage and brilliant all at once. Then came Nate Diaz at UFC 196 in 2016. Short notice, higher weight, and McGregor fell to a second-round submission. But that loss only made him bigger. Their rematch at UFC 202 shattered records, with 1.6 million buys, and McGregor avenged the defeat with a gritty majority decision that proved he could rise again. But his real masterpiece came at Madison Square Garden, UFC 205. Facing lightweight champ Eddie Alvarez, McGregor turned the cage into a clinic, dropping Alvarez again and again with that sniper left hand. The second-round TKO crowned him the first ever dual UFC champion, a prophecy fulfilled in brutal style. The night pulled 1.3 million buys and $17.7 million at the gate. History made, record smashed. By 2016, McGregor was on top of the world. Forbes listed him among the highest-paid athletes alive, raking in $34 million from fights and deals with Reebok, Beats by Dre, and more. But that's where the shine started to crack. Going from eating noodles in a cramped flat to flying private jets changes a man, and the hunger that built him began to fade. Fame, fortune, and luxury replaced the grind. Why suffer through brutal camps when you've already conquered everything?
We've got the premiere now this evening, New York City, and we're very excited about it. It's the final one. It's meant to be the biggest one.
Then came 2017, the mega boxing match with Floyd Mayweather Jr. It was both McGregor's biggest payday and the first real sign of decline. The fight pulled a staggering 4.3 million buys and $600 million in revenue, with McGregor pocketing a mind-blowing $130 million for a loss. He had officially crossed into celebrity territory, hanging with Hollywood stars and launching empires. His proper number 12 whiskey hit shelves in 2018 and sold for around $600 million just a few years later. But while the money poured in and fame exploded, McGregor's edge inside the cage quietly started slipping away. McGregor looked slower, off his rhythm, and when Poirier's brutal calf kicks piled up, it was obvious he hadn't kept up with the new era of fighting. The second-round TKO wasn't just a loss, it was his first knockout defeat in the UFC, a harsh reality check that should have sparked change. Instead, it led to a trilogy fight that delivered the most gruesome moment of his career and the symbolic collapse of his reign as an elite fighter. But his downfall wasn't limited to the cage. In April 2018, McGregor led a mob-style attack on a bus full of UFC fighters in Brooklyn, hurling a metal dolly through a window and injuring several, including Michael Chiesa and Ray Borg. Dana White called it the most disgusting thing in UFC history. McGregor turned himself in, pleaded guilty, and walked away with community service, but his ego had clearly gone off the rails. Then came the pub incident in 2019. McGregor sucker punched an elderly man who refused a shot of his proper number 12 whiskey. The moment was caught on camera, shocking even his fans. He was fined €1,000 and ordered into anger management, proof that fame had turned the once-hungry warrior into a man losing control fast. McGregor later bought that same pub and banned the man he'd punched, a move critics slammed as straight-up petty. Then, in March 2019, things got worse. He attacked a fan in Miami for snapping a selfie, stomping the guy's phone, and causing €1,000 in damage. Arrested on felony charges, he posted $12,500 bail before quietly settling out of court. His reckless streak didn't stop there. Between 2017 and 2018, speeding tickets stacked up until his license got suspended for 6 months. In March 2022, he was caught driving over 100 miles per hour in Dublin, uninsured, unlicensed, and furious when arrested. By 2024, he was convicted, banned from driving for 2 years, and still called the judge's remarks appalling. The swagger was gone, replaced by chaos, but nothing hit harder than what came next. Starting in 2018, a series of disturbing allegations began surfacing. No charges stuck, but his reputation took a massive hit overnight. The legend who once ruled the fight game was now drowning in scandals, injuries, and public backlash. Then came the 10th of July, 2021, UFC 264 in Las Vegas. It was supposed to be McGregor's redemption night against Dustin Poirier, but it turned into horror. After missing a left hook, McGregor's leg snapped beneath him with a sickening crack heard across the arena. His tibia and fibula shattered clean through. Fight over. Leg broken. McGregor lying on the canvas, still spewing trash talk through the pain. He later admitted he'd gone into the fight with stress fractures already in his leg, an accident waiting to happen. The snap didn't just break his body, it shattered the myth of his invincibility. McGregor's shocking admission that he'd fought with stress fractures raised serious questions about his judgment and the people around him. Was it arrogance, desperation, or straight denial that his body couldn't take the punishment anymore? Whatever it was, that snap cost him everything, sidelining him for over 4 years, the longest layoff of his career. Just 2 days after the break, on the 12th of July, 2021, top surgeon Dr. Neil Alatrish operated in Los Angeles, inserting a titanium rod into his tibia and plates into his fibula. That metal still sits in his leg today, keeping him standing, but likely killing the explosive movement that once made him deadly. Within hours of surgery, McGregor was already posting from his hospital bed, vowing to come back stronger than ever. Classic McGregor confidence. But recovery from a compound fracture is no quick comeback story. This became his toughest fight yet. Not against an opponent, but against his own body and time itself. From 2021 into 2022, Rehab was brutal. Endless pool therapy, upper body work, and light movement, just to stop his muscles from wasting away. By September, barely 2 months after surgery, he was already back on his feet, shadowboxing and flashing that trademark grin. His teammate Peter Queally called it an amazing recovery, saying McGregor was back in the gym the morning after surgery, adapting every drill around his injury. When he couldn't strike, he grappled. When he couldn't kick, he built his upper body into a tank. Using blood flow restriction training, he tricked his muscles into staying huge without heavy lifting, a smart move that helped speed recovery. By mid-2022, McGregor was throwing strikes again, posting slick clips of pad work and bag sessions. But analysts weren't convinced. Was it real progress, or just social media theater? Even McGregor admitted he still felt pain and had lost some explosiveness, carrying echoes of that old 2016 knee injury. As Coach John Kavanagh put it, in MMA, survival isn't about avoiding injuries, it's about managing them. By 2024, McGregor's recovery seemed nearly complete, training just 45 minutes twice a day to avoid setbacks. But the man who returned didn't look like the same fighter. He'd bulked up from his 155-pound frame to nearly 185 pounds of solid muscle, a size that turned heads on Instagram and in Hollywood, but raised eyebrows in the fight world. Could he still make weight? Could he still move with that old lightning-fast precision? Because in MMA, speed kills. And power without speed, that's just slow, predictable violence. Then came the bombshell. On the 7th of October, 2025, the Combat Sports Anti-Doping Agency hit McGregor with an 18-month suspension for 3 missed drug tests. In 2024, he claimed he was still recovering and not planning to fight, but rules are rules. The ban, retroactive to September 2024, meant no return until March 2026. Dana White called it disappointing, though he admitted McGregor's cooperation helped reduce the suspension from 2 years. But if the injuries tested his body, the next chapter tested his soul, and his reputation took a devastating hit. In December 2018, a woman named Nikita Hand accused McGregor of sexually assaulting her at a Dublin hotel penthouse after a Christmas party. She testified that McGregor choked and assaulted her, leaving bruises and lasting trauma. Irish prosecutors investigated, but dropped the case in 2021, saying there wasn't enough evidence to convict beyond a reasonable doubt. McGregor denied everything, insisting the encounter was consensual, and for years, the story went quiet. But in 2024, the case exploded back into headlines when Hand filed a civil suit. That November, a Dublin jury found McGregor liable, ordering him to pay €248,603 in damages, plus legal costs. The verdict rocked the sports world. Hand's testimony and medical evidence convinced the jury, while McGregor's team argued consent and attacked her credibility. He immediately appealed, claiming procedural errors and new evidence. But the damage to his legacy was already done. McGregor's appeal was denied in July 2025, cementing the verdict and closing one of the darkest chapters of his life. On social media, he posted a rare apology, admitting that 6 years earlier, he should never have responded to her outreactions, and should never have stepped out on the woman he loves most. It was the closest thing to an admission we'd ever get, accepting infidelity, if not guilt. The fine meant nothing for a man worth hundreds of millions, but his reputation took a fatal blow. Within days, brands began cutting ties. Proper number 12 whiskey, though sold years earlier, erased his image from marketing. IO Interactive dropped him from Hitman. Stores across Ireland pulled his products, and murals once celebrating him as a hero were torn down. Even Dublin's National Wax Museum removed his statue. In the same country that once idolized him, McGregor became a national disgrace almost overnight. The storm only worsened. Irish police had already investigated 2 other assault claims in 2019. No charges, but the headlines never stopped. Then, in June 2023, another woman accused McGregor of assault at Miami's Kaseya Center during the NBA Finals. She alleged serious injuries. McGregor denied it through his lawyer. Criminal charges were dropped, but a civil case kept dragging on, with settlement talks still underway. By late 2025, in July 2025, rapper Azealia Banks claimed online that McGregor sent her unsolicited explicit photos and threats, another public scandal that lit up social media. And the chaos didn't end there. Barstool Sports hit him with a $3.8 million lawsuit, claiming he broke a broadcast deal and tanked their credibility. Even his driving record was a mess: reckless speeding, no insurance, and a 2024 conviction that earned him a 2-year driving ban. He brushed off the judge's criticism as appalling, showing the same stubborn defiance that once made him a star, but now just made him look lost. Then came the political outburst that split his fan base for good. After riots in Dublin in November 2023, McGregor blamed immigrants on social media and blasted Irish leaders as worthless. Deputy PM Michel Martin fired back, calling his words a disgrace to Irish values. The man who once united a nation under his name had become the face of its division. By March 2025, McGregor shocked Ireland yet again, announcing he was running for president. His campaign leaned on anti-immigration rhetoric and far-right talking points, instantly sparking outrage. By September, he pulled out of the race amid mockery and speculation that it was all just another headline grab. But the circus didn't stop there. In June 2023, McGregor punched the Miami Heat mascot, Bernie, during an NBA Finals promo. Twice, the performer ended up hospitalized, and though no charges were filed, fans and media torched him online for another reckless outburst. People began to question whether fame and fortune had shielded McGregor from real consequences. Despite a civil court finally holding him liable in one major case, his $200 million fortune meant he'd never feel the sting financially. But money can't buy back respect, and McGregor's public image was now in ruins. Physically, the decline matched the chaos. His career-long punishment had stacked up like overdue bills. The shattered leg at UFC 264 was the worst of it, but not the first. Back in 2013, he tore both his ACL and MEL, sidelining him for nearly a year. By the time he fought Dustin Poirier the 3rd time, even he admitted his leg already had stress fractures, proof his body was cracking training long before that horrifying break. Then came October 2024, another setback. While filming the Roadhouse remake, McGregor broke a toe, forcing him to cancel his long-hyped fight against Michael Chandler at UFC 303. Dana White later revealed the return was pushed to late 2025, but the anti-doping suspension crushed those plans completely. Observers all say the same thing. The Mayweather fight changed everything. Before that, McGregor was a hungry warrior chasing survival, grinding through ramen-fueled nights in Dublin. After pocketing $130 million for 46 minutes in a boxing ring, that hunger disappeared. Why risk more pain, more injuries, or even brain damage? When you're already set for life, the logical next move should have been legacy, proving he was the greatest to ever do it. But McGregor's ego had always thrived on doubt and defiance, and once he'd ruled the UFC and shared a ring with Mayweather, the question became, what was left to conquer? Instead of chasing greatness, he chased the spotlight. Money fights, flashy ventures, and headlines that screamed chaos instead of glory. His longtime partner, Dee Devlin, mother of his 4 kids, reportedly struggled under the strain of constant rumors and McGregor's wild behavior. When he publicly admitted in November 2024 to stepping out on the woman he loves most, it was confirmation of what many already suspected. And while the courts battled over sexual assault allegations, the stain on his name only deepened. His children will one day search his name online and find lawsuits, scandals, and accusations instead of the rags to riches story that once inspired millions. Whispers of substance abuse trailed him for years. He never failed a test, but rivals like Islam Makhachev branded him an addict, a claim McGregor denied as he kept posting late-night clips of himself drinking his own whiskey. Physically, he looked like a different man altogether, from the shredded 2015 featherweight assassin to a bulked-up nearly heavyweight figure by 2025. Sure, fighters fluctuate between camps, but his drastic size swings suggested someone far removed from true fighting condition. The blood flow workouts and muscle-building rehab routines may have helped him heal, or maybe they were just for show. The easy way to look powerful online, while skipping the grind that doesn't look good on camera. In Ireland, the backlash hit hard. Once hailed as a national treasure, McGregor became a symbol of wasted potential. After the Nikita Hand verdict, his reputation cratered. IO Interactive axed him from Hitman, and Proximo Spirits distanced themselves from him, even as they kept selling his proper No. 12 whiskey. His new beer brand, Forged Irish Stout, launched under a cloud of boycotts. Even his Hollywood debut in Roadhouse flopped with critics, who joked he wasn't really acting, just playing himself, and not in a good way. McGregor's so-called comeback is wrapped in mystery and hype. His 18-month suspension ends in March 2026, theoretically freeing him up for the rumored White House UFC event that Dana White and President Donald Trump floated for America's 250th anniversary. McGregor instantly jumped on it, demanding $100 million and 100 US golden visas as payment. The wild terms left fans wondering, was this a joke, a power play, or proof he's lost touch with reality? After all, he hasn't won a fight since 2020, and his star power's been dimmed by years of scandal. The long-promised clash with Michael Chandler, once set for UFC 303, seems dead in the water. Chandler's already moved on to face Charles Oliveira, signaling that even the UFC may be done waiting. Current featherweight champ Ilia Topuria called McGregor out, but few believe he could ever make 145 pounds again. A more realistic comeback, maybe a soft matchup at welterweight against an aging name, the kind of favorable booking designed to make him look dangerous again. But here's the truth. Time's undefeated. McGregor turns 37 in October 2025, and after 4 years out, his body's a patchwork of titanium, scar tissue, and memories of violence. The sharpness that once made him deadly has dulled, and his lifestyle doesn't scream grind mode anymore. Even if he scores a win, it won't feel like redemption, more like a participation trophy for a legend who couldn't walk away. The octagon may still be open to him, but the real question is, does it want him back? Or has the notorious one become just another fading star, chasing a spotlight that's already moved on? And that is all from Pressure Point today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment, letting us know which story stood out to you most. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.